My camera's acting up again. So yeah, they view America, just so you didn't miss anything, they view America as this land of dreams where all dreams can come true. And that's true, but it's not true for everyone. It wasn't true for me. And yet I had dreamed practically all my life as a young musician in the army learning to play the trombone. And I'd gotten to a certain proficiency, was revealing a talent for playing the trombone, even though I didn't love it. But my dream, once I heard a certain band, an American band called Stan Kenton, and that was my dream. If I could go to America and be in that band, it would be my dream come true. I worked towards that for most of my later adult life. That's when I was a young lad. When I got to America, irony is a great teacher. I had to sell my trombone in order to be able to make the fare to get to America with my young boy, 6 years old. So we came, we struggled. I didn't make it. I didn't make it. The life just didn't suit me. And I stayed there for 20 years and I became a citizen. And it was something that I was proud of and I'm still proud of. But the life didn't suit me, and I'm sure that it certainly wouldn't suit me now, the way that things are going in America right now. So I've tried to tell people, I had to tell the lady that was telling me just in a letter in the last 24 hours. She said, I married an American and I went to live in America, and the life is hard. And I had to say, I understand, and I agree with you. See, for Filipinas especially, I think the men are more adaptable to the life because they're not as hooked into the family. Now, in the Philippines, the family is all important, and so it affects women greatly when they go to America or to any country other than the Philippines, because the Philippines has a unique way of living, and I haven't seen it anywhere else in the world. I've traveled quite a lot, and I traveled quite a lot in America too, so it's not that I was tied to one particular place. I traveled a lot in different parts of America: Colorado, Texas, Florida, California. I traveled a lot and I saw a lot. I found that Americans were incredibly generous people. Back 20 years, I spoke to my adopted sisters. Everybody gets adopted by a family, don't they, when they're young? They get one family that they get taken in by. And the family that I was taken in by, they had two young kids who became like my sisters. And the elder went and traveled a little back then, 20-something years ago, in America. And back then, it was a different place. 20 to 30 years, it was a different place. And they were in a road cafe traveling. They were in a road cafe and met a truck driver who came in and said hello. Well, I like that. Come and say hello and chatting. And he mentioned, when they told him where they're going, he said, oh, I have a cabin. I have a cabin up in the mountains, close to where you're going. You're more than welcome to go and stay there. And he did no more than give them the key. The address and the key said, I'm not going to be home possibly for months. I'm on the road and working full time. you're welcome to go and stay there. Another example was one that I heard of the kind of life that it used to be in America, out in the Midwest. And someone had just bought a house in the country, in a piece of land, and they were talking to the real estate, and the real estate was handing them over the deed to the house. So this is it, the house is yours, congratulations. And they said, haven't you forgotten the key? And the man said, well, I'm sure there is a key, but nobody ever locks their houses. So that was a different kind of America back then. When I first came over here, I spoke to the married woman with several children who was one of the cashiers at the hardware store that I used to go to. And she said, so when are you going home to America? I said, well, I'm not going home to America. This is my home now. And she couldn't quite understand that, but surely you must prefer America to this. So I sat down with her with a paper and a pen, and I said, she told me what she earned, she told me what her rent was, what the electricity was, what it costs to get her children to school, and what it costs to live. And at the end of that, it doesn't matter what the actual wage was, but I remember very clearly, at the end of that, she was able to live a life that she quite enjoyed. She liked her job, and she could save 1,000 pesos a month. So without malice, I said, okay, let's look at the level of job that you would be able to get similar to what you have here and what you would be paid. And we took her to anywhere that she wanted to go, and say she had a job with McDonald's, earning minimum wage and working a pretty good hourly week for that wage. And then I went over from recent memory, you understand, what it would cost her for an apartment. And back then it wasn't like it is now. It's gotten ridiculous now in the UK and in America. And we worked out exactly the same as we'd done for her life here in the Philippines. And it turned out that she wouldn't be able to make it unless she shared an apartment with another family. So that was the difference, and she was shocked to see that that was the case. What I discovered when I went to America, I see that in a funny kind of way this video was turned not just from people who tell it like it is or criticize or anything like that, to what life can turn out to be in America. That's the way it goes. I found that Americans have to work incredibly hard for that lifestyle that people perceive they have. I saw quite a few different research write-ups when I was in America on people who had a family and children and had two jobs. So the wife went to work, and of course everybody in America, there's no, unless you're in the inner city, if you're living slightly out of town in suburbs, you have to have a car. So that family would have to run two cars. She would have to have a monthly expenditure on clothes because let's assume that she had an even better job than McDonald's and was working, say, in an office and was a skilled person. She would obviously have to dress. She would have a dress code that she would be expected to uphold. Gas, insurance, phone, car payment. It turned out in the end that, not my research, but researchers found that it was barely feasible for her to consider that she was pulling money in to the family, especially when you had to account for the fact that she was not there for her children. So she was missing that vitally important job of being a housewife and a mother and a wife. So not everything is as you think it's going to be. I certainly found that when I went to America. I had to make some tough choices. Like, for instance, I could have easily got another trombone. That wasn't really a problem. But to find work as a musician, I would have had to work mainly, certainly in the beginning, until I got better class of, say, recording work, which I used to do in the UK. I would have had to have someone else put my kid to bed and to get him up in the morning. And I found that that was a decision that I couldn't make. It wasn't going to happen, so I had to be there. So my life changed in many more ways than I thought. So I know I've meandered on a little bit, but then it is late night, and that's what I do. So if you've enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share if you think that this might be useful to someone who is considering going to America or to any foreign country. I think very carefully. That lady that actually just messaged me said, "It's a hard life. It's not what I thought it was going to be." She's working and earning her own money, and probably if she told people in the Philippines what she was earning, they would say, "Oh my God, wow, you're earning that much money? You're rich." Not really. So bye for now.